Welcome and join us at the MCG on what is going to be a massive day. We've got a new crew in here for the Sunday Rub. We'll get to them in a minute, but for McDonald's Room Hot Water, Triple M, Rocks, Footy, we've got Mitch Lewis, injured Hawk, coming up. He's going to be in the box. Nick Larkey, fresh from kicking 6 goals yesterday. We're going to speak to him. We've got some new segments. We've got Daisy's Pump Up, and Hitch Your Wagon somehow has made a return. But as I work my way around the box, and Joey Montagna, he's a mainstay at the moment. You turn on the TV, there is Joey. He was calling his socks off yesterday, but welcome the former St Kilda champion.
Hello, Brownie. That's ironic because up on the TV screen, we see your ugly head up there now doing some stuff. So you're doing plenty as well. But no, good to be here. It's been an overhaul over the summer. Fair to say our list profile, we've gone from being a bit older to now one of the youngest commentary teams. I think actually by far the youngest commentary team when I look around here. But you are the oldest statesman now of this group. You are certainly the veteran, so which is strange because you look the youngest. But anyway, that's for another time. But great to have the new boys in here.
Yes, my head still doesn't move. So let's go to the back row and the newsbreaker, the Herald Sun man, who should be probably the number one down there, but he's come in with a massive pimple under his chin that he's missed in the mirror this morning. It's a massive. You can't miss that sort of pimple, JayZ. It is white. It's almost. I can't. Look how big it is, Joey.
That is too. Oh, that's
JayZ Clark.
Yes. Good morning, Nathan. It's great to see you. In fact, good afternoon, Ozzy. You know, I love the trade period, Nathan. When we lost sort of Duck and Ross, I was a bit concerned. I thought we're going to need 7
big names.
Yeah, two of the heaviest hitters in the business. I thought we are going to need 7 to 8 first-round draft picks back to sort of absorb the blow. But as Joey said, I think there's a youthfulness, I think there's a freshness, and I think there's a real looseness about this new combination. So I'm looking forward to the year. I think we move Montagna into the middle. Steve Johnson and Brown sort of leading the forward line. Daisy Thomas, well, he's always been able to play anywhere. And I'm sort of the heartbeat of the operation in the middle. I think we're going to be fine.
Okay.
Right on, JayZ.
Maybe we'll introduce them. We'll introduce them first.
Hang on. Let's build the suspense, Brownie. Who have we got joining us?
A little bit of radio craft. Well, after all that, he's a man who's a 3-time premiership star.
Who's this?
He is a Norm Smith medalist, and he thinks that Collingwood got ripped a couple of premierships because he didn't go there. He had broken ankles at the time. So, Stevie Johnson from the Geelong Footy Club, then went on coaching. Welcome to the Sunday Rub team.
Thanks, Brownie. It's great to be here. Joining such a great group of blokes that are taking over the media industry, and also you too, Jay.
Stevie, your predecessor in that seat was Ross Lyon. He started a bit slow, I thought, Ross. I mean, his first 6 weeks, I reckon he was a bit Jeff Marsh, just locked, nothing coming off the square, and then he turned up Polax one day. Like, he could not put 2 words in front of him.
To the point where he might have...
He had 2 litre bottles of Gatorade next to him, and he was redder than normal. He couldn't get his words out, but from then on, he was Mitch Marsh. He was hitting them everywhere over the fence, so it's good to have you.
Yeah, I'm a fresh face. I'm straight out of footy. I haven't done a lot of media for a long time, so hopefully you boys look after me. I probably thought I was filling Duck shoes a little bit more than Ross's, and Daisy might have been Ross, but I'll take it.
They're big shoes to fill, Duck, on and off the field. So let's talk about you for a start, because we asked some of your former teammates, how are you going to go in the media?
Tommy Lonergan here. Stevie, I'm glad you've chosen radio as your preferred media platform, because you certainly don't have a head for TV. Make sure you stay away from those sausage rolls and party pies, because we know retirement hasn't treated you too well.
Stevie J, probably one of, if not the greatest football mind I played with. Obviously playing for so long in such a successful team, you'll have a lot of stories. Grand finals, Norm Smiths, all Australians, goals from the boundary line. That'll take you to about round 4 or 5, and then I'm not quite sure what he's going to talk about from then on. But yeah, good luck, Stevie. And Triple M.
Stephen, Billy here, Billy Brownless, mate, your mentor, of course, that got you through those rough stages when you're down at the Cattery. Used to take you to the pub and have a couple of frothies and talk it over. Now, mate, the keys are out where it normally is, all right? The code's the same there. Don't make a mess. Those bloody towels, once you use them, mate, just pick them up and bloody hang them out. Don't leave them on the floor in your dirty old jocks with skids hanging around everywhere. Fair dinkum, mate. You're better than that. And stop eating all my food in the freezer. And bring some beers with you. It's not hard, mate. Just drop into a bottle shop and get a 6-pack for your old mate. That'd be good, Stephen. And by the way, good luck on the Wallace.
Hey guys, it's Lee here. Steve Johnson, is he seriously jumping into the commentary box? Oh God, the migraine's coming back. The headaches that bloke used to give me. I reckon I spent about 875 leadership meetings discussing that man. What a footballer, what a genius footballer. Not bad on the punt as well, I do get that part. But are you going to seriously let him do some commentary? Keep a short rein, guys. Keep a real short rein. Don't let him loose. Every time I let him loose, oh, the headaches.
Very good.
You haven't filled it with much confidence, have you?
No, well, Lingy's got a short memory.
Who was the second
I
one?
made him a premiership captain. and just on the back of Heath Shaw's comment, I presume he's talking about if I've still got a job in 2025. I'll run out of stories, but I won't run out by around 3 or 4.
You genuinely believe that Collingwood cost themselves 2 flags by you not going there?
Yeah, I do actually, Brownie. They had a chance to get me at the end of 2006. Geelong threw me on the trade table, and unfortunately for Collingwood, I failed the fitness test. There was a game here, the 2007 prelim final, which went right down to the wire. They tested us. They would have gone on to beat Port Adelaide, and then JayZ, they won the premiership in 2010. So that would have been the second one that. That would have been the first that they wouldn't have won 2007, and then they would have won 10, and then maybe 11. We just got over the line.
You following that, Daisy?
Oh, you know what? We had Truth or Line. We had Truth or Line last year. I think we should be having story time with Stevie throughout this year. That would be great. We'll just get some of those stories.
Yeah.
Get some.
What did happen? So, Bomber, did you have a meeting with Bomber and he said, sorry, Steve, you sort of used too many chances? Or
is there
how
any
did it
chance
go?
at some point someone will welcome me to the show?
It's not about you.
He's been waiting to talk.
It's not about you.
I'm just going to join in now.
Okay. Let's bring him in. Because Daisy, we've worked together for a while, but we've never actually officially been on the same team for the whole course of a year. So I've never really brought this up with you, and I've always felt a bit awkward. And I just thought, I'd forget I even said it or just let it pass by. But I did a segment a long time ago about what you'd say to this before I knew you and how good of a guy you were. It was on Jim and Bill's show, and here it is. Carlton, Dale Thomas, the only man that's paid $47,000 a possession.
He's just warming up here.
He is just getting started.
So I want to apologise. I overstepped the mark on that occasion.
It was only 41,000.
But to make up for that, I thought we'd put a package together so we let listeners know what's to come with Daisy Thomas.
Big night around the footy as well. Lockie Neal in ripping Nick. Do you send someone straight to him or see how that unpans?
Daisy came out with a new saying. Did you hear his new saying?
No, what was his new saying?
Just repeat your new saying.
It's unpan, so it's a cross between unfold and pan out.
How's that gonna unpan for you?
He was a man. He was fantastic. Jai Simpson.
We haven't seen that sort of forward pressure. His dynamicism, the ability to change direction and get after a smaller player.
Tonight they get it a couple of weeks early. They'll be able to implement some things. I'm not sure Melbourne will be showing their complete hand there, but yeah, no doubt the Blues will be pretty happy to get it up against the reigning premiers.
Yeah, well butchered at the end there, Daisy.
His speed around the contest has been fantastic. That has Switkowski or
Switkowski.
Yeah, wow. Is that the Crystals, the Switkowski? Swarovski. Down there at Cardinia Park. I'm not sure if you've seen the fixture change for tomorrow, Baz.
Yes.
But Gold Coast Essendon
Bombers.
moved down there. It's the shortest ever gaps between games at Cardinia Park being 44 days. The previous closest to that was 10,177 back in 1993.
Absolutely butchered that.
They look just a touch off the Swans, just look like they're cruising through its second gear at the minute.
Footy spins in. Yeah, you're right, Dave. Big read as Dave's just sort of swallow.
Just decided to stop.
Yes.
Swallow. That's a great file.
It is. It's very good.
But welcome to Dale Thomas.
Thank you very much.
Only man to ever play 100 games for both Carlton and Collingwood.
Sometimes words aren't our friend, Brownie, which isn't great. But I am grateful to be here with you guys. And it was interesting when the text went out. I thought it was going to be a big pump up, get around us. This is what you need to prepare for. This is what you need to bring. And the only thing it says was you get one day a year when you can rock up still hungover from the night before. Use it wisely. I thought Stevie and I may test that. We'll try and follow along.
Well, if you've brought a pen today, you're better than Duck. Because Duck never bought a pen.
I've got a pencil case with my
All he
name
used
on
to
it.
do was draw pictures of cats and hand it to people in the box. But, okay, let's start to talk about some football because we do have some...
Brownie, can I just check one thing?
Yeah.
Just if Stevie J went to Collingwood back in the day, Daisy, would he have been part of the Rat Pack, do you think? Or would he have been one of Buckley's boys or part of the Rat Pack? Where would you put him?
Oh, yeah, I could really see him fitting in well with Bucks. Sort of working through the intricacies of a game plan and pulling his socks up. He would have been the leading charge of the Rat Pack, and we wouldn't won 2010 because 3 of them would have been in the pen.
This is the Triple M Sunday Rub. Hawthorn up against the Bombers from the MCG Sunday afternoon football. Now, JayZ's news is going to continue, but I just wanted to ask you first of all,
yes,
JayZ, I believe that you got kicked out of Melbourne's training session the other day. You not only rang Simon Goodwin to see if you could come down, he invited you down, and then when you started filming, he kicked you out. And you then ended up on a bin outside trying to peer in over the fence.
Yeah, it's a blessing in disguise in the end because up on the bin, it gave me a nice little viewpoint of Stephen May, who was moving around like an 80-year-old, it's fair to say, because they were sort of trying to hide it from the Western Bulldogs, the Steve May injury, but went down to Casey. You know, like it's been a long time since your mother tripped down to Casey. Not everyone does that. You prefer to hang around Richmond, Collingwood. So went down there and Goody kicked me out, but...
You are a bit flat, aren't you? Because you thought you're sort of in at Melbourne. You think you've sort of got a pretty good in, and you're,
I was surprised they kicked me out. But I'm going to go back down there next Wednesday, and I'm going to run around to the other side of the ground where they sort of can't. It's harder for them to kick me out. So anyway, nice to get the first kick out.
Why do you think coaches do that? Why are they so secretive, or to put it in Travis Cloke's terms, smoke and shadows behind the mirrors?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, I think they were genuinely trying to hide the Steve May thing, but the Bulldogs would have been there. They would have known. So I think it's the most over-the-top, ridiculous thing in football. Like, Collingwood can't close their sessions. Craig McRae doesn't give a stuff. I mean, who cares, to be honest? So I think it's just an over-the-top thing, but Melbourne in outstanding form last night.
The message we got, though, is you sooked it up large.
Big time.
It was a proper tantrum.
Deluxe.
Get over it.
Yeah, I did text the coach and I said, mate, honestly,
like a proper tantrum to the media manager.
Disgraceful treatment. I've been doing it for 20 years now. And, I remember back in the day when Bomber Thompson used to get a bit wound up and they locked me out of Geelong pretty successfully
the question is,
for a while.
Would they have done that to Mark Robinson? That's the big question.
No.
I wouldn't have thought so.
So
why were you filming, though? What were you filming?
Well, I didn't until they kicked me out. So I was there just watching. They said, he can see Stephen May. That's when they kicked me out. And then that's why I started filming. But
and then what were you filming?
Well, Stephen May on the exercise bike.
Bit creepy.
How's he got this phone?
Well, we did use it on our show the other day, Brownie. Anyway, hey, some rivalries. We're going to get to Harry Sheasel and Jason Horne-Francis and Brisbane's complacency in a second. Some rivalries in football are manufactured. Hawthorn versus Essendon is one that is not. We remember that famous photo on the front page of the Herald Sun of Dermot Brereton burning the Essendon jumper or Essendon flag. So there is genuine feeling between these two clubs. I just want to give you a quick refresh on this. 2004, the line in the sand game, and also 2009 when Matthew Lloyd took out Brad Sewell. Take a listen to this.
And the kick goes inboard looking for Winderlick. Through come Bateman. Banged him right in the back of the scone. Might be a free kick, should be, to Winderlick, who's just about knocked senseless.
Oh, he's out, Winderlick. He needs a little rest. I think he's... That's on again. That's on everywhere. Oh, they're banging in. Have a look at him. Smack, crash. McPhee's in there. He's Vandenberg has given him 4, 5, 6, 7. He has battered McPhee all over the park.
Has just kneed McPhee.
It is on.
Vandenberg has retreated because he will get life.
I am telling you, he has landed 4 of the best on the chin of McPhee and then followed it up by kneeing him in the head.
Rocks, Saturday afternoon football, round 22. We're there on a big punt.
Oh!
That is a reward.
And it's on, boys!
He's gone. Oh, look at Hodge.
Hodge and the Velvet Sledgehammer. Here comes Dempsey Fletcher.
Matthew Lloyd has made a statement, boys. Sewell has been knocked out flat on his back and has not moved.
Yeah, it did. There's a lot of fisticuffs there. Matty Lloyd took out Brad Sewell. That wasn't me, that noise, Daisy. I'm not sure that was. Was that you, Stevie J, or who was that? Where did that noise come from?
Own up.
I'm not sure.
Was it me?
Brownie.
To me, someone snorted. Was that the chief in the background just laughing in the first one?
Yes. Yes, I think it was. I think Hodgie and Campbell Brown wanted to decapitate the Velvet Sledgehammer. Stevie, you had one of the biggest rivalries in the game in the modern day, you and Stevie Baker, but you also had the Kennett's curse, of course, with Hawthorn. Was it really genuine? Is there some teams and some players you just hate their guts, or is it all a bit manufactured? What's it like out there in terms of the tension?
Yeah, we certainly had a massive rivalry with Hawthorn, and we did hate them. We tried to believe we hated them just to give us that extra edge, but what it was built on was current, or previous games. Like in a space of probably a couple of year period, it has to be really, really current for it to be at its absolute peak. I mean, both these teams and these players, they've got young players that wouldn't have been around when Dermy was playing, wouldn't even remember watching Dermy play. So it's not the same as it used to be, but that's not to say that it can't be in another couple of years when these two teams are going up the ladder and, big supporter bases and passionate supporter bases. That's when you'll see it come together.
That's it. The rivalry between these players today might not be genuine because they haven't had the big games like the Hawks and Essendon in the 80s. But for the fans, the Hawks fans still hate the Essendon fans and the Essendon team. So that rivalry from the supporters aspect is still real.
So what was it like when Steve Baker, one of your best mates, Joey, used to try and wind himself up to play on this man? Was it true that at one point he tried to sharpen his studs to try and hook into Stevie J? Is that myth or did
No,
that
he did sharpen his studs. I don't know if that was specifically for... Was it?
I think it was the night before the grand final, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know when it was. I don't know.
It worked anyway. I did have playing 4 grand finals here and was shut down in one of them.
Yeah, that was Stevie Baker. But no, they are real. Some rivalries, absolutely.
And sharpen his studs.
He just used to file them a little bit.
He's a nut job. Let's just call it for what it is. He's an absolute lunatic.
And Stevie, tell that story. What happened that night? So it was that famous fight night where you and the whole game was sort of framed around this one-on-one matchup, and you guys went absolutely at it. He broke your hand or something.
It was a big night. It was the what do you call it? Reveling of the
unfurling.
Flag. Unfurling of the flag, Brownie, and it had been built up, Baker v Johnson, but it was Friday night football, and from the start of the game, Baker starts just putting a couple of fists on the chin. I'm thinking, surely there's going to be an ISO cam on us. It would be silly to hit him back. Anyway, I've gone down into the forward pocket. The ball rolls in, and Goddard collected me with his foot when he's gone to kick the ball, so it's kind of in danger type of thing. And my hand blew up. Gone back to the goal square after a goal was kicked. I'm not sure who kicked it, but my hand had blown up, and I'm looking at it sort of down there, and Baker's sort of pinching me and doing what he does, and he's realised that I'm sort of grabbing at my hand.
His eyes lit up.
So he's gone, okay, there's a weakness. He starts just belting my hand, which again was on ISO cam, and you weren't allowed to attack an injured player.
Yeah.
So I thought, geez, I'm in a bit of trouble. So at quarter time, I went off. I seen the doctor. I said, Doc, I think something's going on with my hand here. What's going on? So he took me down under the race there here at the MCG, and I said, what's going on? He said, you've broken your hand. I said, okay, right. So how long am I going to be out for? He said, it'll be about 3 weeks. I said, okay. What can you do? Can you put a blocker in there and send me back out there? Because Baker had been belting the absolute shit out of me all day.
You got 3 weeks to work with.
Anyway, I walked out. Baker comes, starts pinching me on the back, and I just went whack, roundhouse elbow, collected him right in the side of the eye, made one of the most sickening sounds I've ever heard. Oh. And I got 3 weeks.
I love
and he had one of the biggest black eyes. But the most surprising thing about it was, I still can't believe it to this day.
You got him flush.
The little bastard, he got back up.
And he said, didn't he say something like, oh, that was good, Stevie?
I think, I think he went down into the sin bin and iced it up. Later on, he did. We caught up for a beer, and he would have been a great teammate to have on your team.
He was.
For sure.
He was. He did to me. He said, oh, Stevie got me a beauty. You were like, yeah, we can see that with the guy.
What was the sound like? What was the elbow? What was the sound?
Oh, like when Mark wore just a big full shot into the second tier, just that crack.
I can hear that.